and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of the Philippines, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
At this juncture, may we request the President and the reception party for a photo opportunity with the breathtaking Pagudpud Wind Farm as the background.
The first phase of the 160-megawatt Pagudpud Wind Farm, equivalent to 18 megawatts, has been completed and is currently operational, with a second and final phase to be completed in 2025. Upon its completion, the Pagudpud Wind Farm will be the largest wind farm in the country. Thank you, Mr. President. May we request the President to proceed on stage for the program.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of the Philippines, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. We may now be seated. Good afternoon and welcome to the presentation of the 160 megawatt Pagudpud Wind Farm, another renewable energy project of ACEN.
To formally begin our program, may we call on Chairman Jaime Augusto Zobel de Ayala of the Ayala Corporation to deliver his welcome remarks.
Before anything else, let me acknowledge our distinguished guests in the audience, Your Excellency Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr. Thank you so much, sir, for gracing the occasion here. The Honorable Congressman Ferdinand Alexander Sandro Marcos. Sandro, always a pleasure to have you. Thank you for inviting us over. The Honorable Vice Governor Cecilia Reneta Marcos. The Honorable Secretary Rafael Popo Latia, been very supportive of all our projects here. The Honorable Chairperson Mona Lisa Di Malanta, thank you. Leaders and members from the Provincial Government of Ilocos Norte, leaders and members from the Municipality of Pagudpud, thank you. Thank you so much for the great welcome we've had here. Well, we're delighted to be here to inaugurate what will be the largest wind power plant in the Philippines, the 160 megawatt Pagudpud Wind Farm, here in the barangays of Balayoy, Kaunayan, and Municipality of Pagudpud, Ilocos Norte. We see this facility as a critical contribution to further securing the increasing power requirements of the Luzon grid. We're happy to be able to complete the first phase of this power plant, which is equivalent to 80 megawatts, what we were viewing here today, Mr. President. Upon reaching full commercial operation, the power plant is expected to provide approximately 124,000 homes with clean energy, and also perhaps equally important, avoid about 350,000 tons of carbon emissions. ACEN invested 11.8 billion pesos in this project, and we're proud to say it has helped over 1,200 jobs for the local community during the 3-year construction period. This facility is part and parcel of ACEN and Ayala's commitment to help build a modern and sustainable Philippine economy through the best technologies that the world has to offer. It is timely that we've embarked on this journey amidst the global energy crisis, and with renewable energy now being a viable source of affordable and clean energy. ACEN and the Ayala Group will continue to support the government's drive to augment our national power supply by scaling up renewables and ensuring affordable pricing. We are proud that ACEN remains at the forefront of renewable energy in the Philippines and around the region, with over 4,000 megawatts of renewable capacity in operations under construction. Of this amount, 1,000 megawatts of renewable capacity under construction is in the Philippines alone, with 700 megawatts expected to be operational within this year. In addition to the 160 megawatt Pagudpud Wind Farm that we're launching here today, ACEN is also currently constructing the 70 megawatt expansion of the North Luzon Renewables in Barangay Caparisipan. Once complete, ACEN will have a total of 360 megawatts of wind capacity across 99 wind turbines in Ilocos Norte. We were asking Eric to make it 100 wind. Aggregate output would exceed 1 billion kilowatt hours per annum, covering 1.3% of Luzon's annual demand. We see this as a meaningful contribution to our national target of achieving a 35% share of renewables to our total power output by 2030 from the current level of around 22%. We thank the province of Ilocos Norte for the continued trust and support for pioneering and critical infrastructure projects such as these. Bangi Bay, for instance, was the host of the first wind farm in far Southeast Asia after its construction back in 2005. This was made possible by then Governor, His Excellent President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. at the time, whose leadership and vision has enabled Ilocos Norte to become the preeminent renewables capital in the country. We're also hopeful that this same vision and leadership will enable the Philippines to become Southeast Asia's leader in renewables in the coming years. We share the belief that we're all well on our way to achieve all these aspirations. For instance, the recent announcement of the second green energy auction with over 11,000 megawatts of renewables capacity should attract significant investments in this sector. It's worth noting that Pagudpud Wind Farm is one of the power plants that succeeded in the first green energy auction. We're also encouraged by the efforts of the government to enable new technologies such as offshore wind, as well as the efforts to address the bottlenecks in transmission development, all of these which we were discussing with Secretary Lotilla. We believe that these efforts will help unlock the full potential of renewables in Ilocos Norte and the country. Ilocos Norte remains the best source of wind in the country and still has significant developmental potential both for onshore but also offshore areas, and the President himself was encouraging us to keep expanding. Moving forward, we think that there are elements that we can collaborate together with to accelerate this vision of a renewable energy future. As an example, transmission capacity likewise needs to be augmented to keep step in step with the rapid scaling of renewables capacity. In the case of Ilocos Norte, we hope that the Northern Loop transmission line will be implemented in the near to medium term, and this will help keep the strong momentum in renewables growth in Ilocos Norte and the country as a whole. In closing, I'd like to extend our gratitude to everyone who has contributed to the success of this project, to all our government leaders and local government and community partners, many who are here today, to the various industry stockholders and stakeholders, to our many industrial, financial, and technical partners. You can see how complex these wind projects are to set up. And of course, to the highly committed and energized ACEN team, Eric Francia and his team. Thank you very much, Eric. A big thank you to all. We look forward to further accelerate the renewable expansion of the country and help build a sustainable future. If I could now invite His Excellency President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. to accept a token from Ayala Corporation and our family. Visions is a collection of photos by my father, Mr. President, Jaime Zobel de Ayala. These photos are glimpses of the world as seen through his eyes that cross boundaries between photography and collage and define the world of its own. He was very keen, Mr. President, for you to have it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. President, Chairman Jaime Augusto Zobel de Ayala and Fernando Zobel de Ayala.
At this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the screens to watch a short video presentation of the 160 megawatt Pagudpud Wind Farm.
Now, may we call on Energy Secretary Rafael Lutilla to give his message and to introduce our keynote speaker.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of the Philippines, His Excellency Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr.
Thank you very much for your introduction, our Energy Secretary, Secretary Popo Lutilla. Of course, our partner in the development of the renewables, specifically of the wind power here in Ilocos Norte, the Ayala Corporation and their chairman, Jaime Augusto Sobel de Ayala. Ayala Corporation Special Advisor, Fernando Sobel de Ayala. I am not used to calling them with their full names because we went to school together. And so, it's a little bit unusual for me to be very formal with them like I'm about to do with the Ilocos Norte 1st District Representative, Sandro Marcos. Local government officials of Ilocos Norte, of the municipality of Pagudpud. I finally found the mayor is here. At yung ating mga apong sanggunian. Of course, the Vice Governor Cecil. The officials and employees of ACEN. The distinguished guests who are here with us today, ladies and gentlemen. Na imbag nga malim yung amin. Well, now Northern Luzon, and Ilocos Norte in particular, has been blessed with excellent wind energy potential. And it is really a blessing because it is not something that you can decide as a political decision. Nung una naming tinayo yung Bangi, and the first time it went online and it started to get publicity, maraming governor tumatawag sa akin noon. At sinasabi, paano nyo ginawa yan? We want to do it dito rin sa probinsya namin. At sabi ko, hindi yan political decision. It is God who decides where you put the wind farm. Kaya talaga, swerte talaga, buenas lang talaga tayo that we have the potential for the wind farm. And it started very innocuously when I first became governor in 1998. About a year after, there was this group that came that talked to me about putting up a wind farm because the wind map showed that there was good potential here in Ilocos Norte. At the time, I looked at the numbers. It wasn't economically viable. We just couldn't do it. The technology wasn't good enough yet. The difference in pricing could not be covered. The ROI was far too long. So we shelved it. And doon sa bandang Bangi, I think those of you who work, who have been around there, may area doon na napakalakas ang hangin. Pero nakita ko, sabi ko, sayang ito, hindi naman natin mataniman dahil yung lupa is not good for agri. So I called all my friends na golfer. Sabi ko, tignan ninyo kung pwedeng lagyan ng golf course ito. So pinuntahan nila. Nagkita kami after a while and they said, imposible, masyadong malakas ang hangin. Doon, naisip ko, sabi ko, we were having the problem at the time where ang dalas ng brownout dito sa Ilocos Norte. Nung tinanong ko sa ating mga grid operator kung bakit ganun, pati sa ating mga cooperative, ika nila dahil yung power natin galing sa bandang Maynila. Kaya yung transmission line, anything wrong that happens along the transmission line, putol ang kuryente dito. So naisip ko, dapat meron tayong source of power dito. I put the two and two together and made 5. And we had the idea, binuhay ko. And that's how it started. And we are very, very happy to be considered the pioneers now of wind power at least. And hopefully, patuloy sa solar power and all renewables dito sa Ilocos Norte. And that is why I am here today. Because it is important to highlight the importance of our shift from fossil fuels to renewables. And this is a very, very important and very, very large part of that shift that we are trying to implement in our energy mix. At kaya naman, napakalaki na. This expansion is the biggest single project, wind farm project in the whole of the Philippines. Meron siguro yung maliliit yung phases, but this is the biggest single phase expansion sa buong Pilipinas. And although the Ayalas came, they were not the first. Boy, when you started, you really didn't stop. You just kept going and going. Palaki ng palaki yung mga windmill, palaki ng palaki yung mga turbine, and patuloy pa rin. Sa aking pagbabiyahe, sa kinakausap natin, ang mga kaibigan nating dayuhan tungkol sa renewable energy. And we talk about where are the areas. Halimbawa, solar sa Pilipinas, kahit saan pwede. Ang problema sa solar, nagko-compete sa lupa ng agrikultura. Kaya ang nagiging uso ngayon is floating solar. Ilalagay sa dagat o ilalagay sa tubig, may isda sa ilalim, may aquaculture sa ilalim. Yun ang bago nating mga ginagawa. Ang wind farm, sabi nila, ang pinakamaganda pa rin ay banda dun sa inyo. And they showed us maps when we were traveling, we're talking to the businessman. Hindi lamang ito yung nakikita natin around Bangi, Pagudpud, all the way down hanggang almost halos na doon sa eastern towns, ay talagang pwede. But even more, dahil ang pinupunta ng teknolohiya ng wind farm ay palaki ng palaki. Yung aming sinimulan, the first 18 turbines were rated at about 1.6 something, 1.7 megawatts. Itong nasa harap natin, 5 megawatts na yan. Ang pakpak dati is only about 50 something meters. Ang tower is only 100. This is already 150 meters. And the blades are more than 100 meters long. Kaya makita na the technology has been moving forward. So, yun ang tinatanong namin. Kung pwede ba, interesado naman kayo sa Pilipinas, interesado kayo sa Ilocos Norte, saan pa tayo pwedeng maglagay? And the new technologies are pushing the wind farms offshore. Kasi, papaliwanag sa inyo ng mga engineer, ang pinakamahirap, the reason why you cannot put a wind farm anywhere is because of the technicians here, the laminar flow of the wind. It has to be tinatawag na lang smooth bale ang takbo ng hangin. Ngayon, sa iba't ibang lugar, kuminsan may laminar flow, kuminsan magandang takbo ng hangin, kuminsan hindi. There's turbulence. Pag may turbulence, walang efficiency yung wind farm, yung turbine. Ngayon, sabi nila, pinakamaganda ngayon, hindi mo na kailangan alalahanin na maayos ang takbo ng hangin if you are offshore. So nagtanong ako, saan natin nilalagay kung sa Pilipinas, saan nyo gusto ilagay ang offshore? Sabi nila, sa inyo rin, dito rin. Dito pa rin ang pinakamaganda. Kaya pag sinabing blessing, itong nangyari sa atin, talagang biyaya ng Diyos lang sa atin. Kaya magpasalamat tayo na pinagbigyan ang Ilocos Norte na hindi lamang makapag-produce para sa ating probinsya, ay natutulungan pa natin ang sitwasyon ng enerhiya sa buong Pilipinas. At lahat nitong bagong teknolohiya ay talagang titignan natin. We continue to work on all of the sources of renewable. As I mentioned, solar, briefly, tinitignan natin yung mga pagagandahin natin, yung mga geothermal, yung mga dam natin, baka pwede pang i-expand ang hydrothermal na power na kinukuha natin diyan. Tinitignan na rin natin yung nuclear power. Huwag kayong nenervyusin, titiyakin natin na lahat yan ay magiging ligtas at hindi maaari magkaroon ng mga yung naririnig natin, mga Fukushima, mga 3 Mile Island. That's old technology. That will not happen anymore. So we will make sure of all that. But nonetheless, kailangan patuloy na tayong naghahanap ng bagong renewable energy sources. Kailangan patuloy ang ating pagtatayo ng facilities kagaya nito. Dahil kailangan ngayon sa market ay clean energy. Ito yung isang natutunan ko nung kausap ko yung mga mining na kumpanya, yung mga malalaki. Ika nila, sabi ngayon ang requirement ng buyer para, halimbawa, sabihin natin mining, yung pagka binigay namin, pagka yung produkto namin, ipinagbibili namin sa isang buyer, tatanong yung buyer, kailangan patunayan ninyo that you used clean energy para gawin itong produkto ninyo. Kung hindi, hindi namin bibilhin. So it is not just talking about climate change. It is not just talking about helping the renewables gain a bigger percentage of the energy mix. It is also a practical matter. This is the way we do business today. Hindi tayo pwedeng magsabi na meron tayong ginawang steel mill. Yung steel mill, lahat ng kanyang produkto, lahat ng kanyang power na kukuha niya sa coal-fired na plant. Walang bibili nun. Walang bibili kahit saan. Sasabihin, hindi namin it has to be green energy. It has to have been produced and manufactured via green energy. So that gives our effort for making renewables a more dominant percentage of our energy mix becomes even a commercial issue. And so that's why it is all important. Climate change is, of course, the paramount concern. And lahat ng usapan namin ngayon sa pamahalaan, kahit anong pag-usapan namin, pag-usapan natin, agrikultura, infrastructure, digitalization, health, lahat, kahit papano, hindi mo maiwasan mapupunta ang usapan sa climate change and the effects of climate change and the changes that we have to do or the way we work because we have to adjust to climate change, we have to adapt to the effects of climate change. So, number one talagang priority yun. Ngunit, puro plus ito kasi kahit na sasabihin nila na okay, you're helping the planet, but there's no other advantage. Well, it brings us good power supply in the Philippines. Alam nyo naman, tayo ay naghahanap ng karagdagang supply dahil kulang ang supply natin sa buong Pilipinas. Kulang ang supply natin doon sa ating demand. At hindi natin mapalaki ang ating ekonomiya kung hindi sapat ang energy supply. Ganun lang kasimple yun. Ngayon, meron tayong mga hinaharap na problema dahil hindi, kung minsan sapat naman ang supply, yung distribution ngayon ang nagiging problema. Kaya dahan-dahan natin kailangan ayusin yung bawat step dyan sa pag-produce at sa pag-distribute ng kuryente para hindi lamang para sa ating mga consumers, sa mga household, kundi para sa ating mga planta, para sa ating mga negosyo, lahat ng nagdadala ng business, ng economic activity dito sa Pilipinas ay kailangan talaga natin habulin, kailangan natin pagandahin para dumami at magkaroon ng trabaho at merong ginagastos ang taong bayan. So it really is it does not affect us on just one single dimension. It affects us on every part of the work that we do, especially those of us who are administrators in public service, yun talagang kailangan naming isipin. But again, it is a very proud day for me to see that with what we had started has continued, and it looks like it will further continue. After this, I hope that we will be coming back fairly soon to inaugurate the 100th turbine. And tayo naman, mga tiga Ilocos, let us continue to keep the province as the pioneer for renewables. We are leading the way for the whole country. And it is a good place to be because it is very important to not only Ilocanos, not only tayo dito sa Ilocos Norte, but for the entire Philippines. So, we can, although it's a complicated business, hindi madali gawin to. The basic technology is quite mature. But isipin niyo yung logistics para magdala ng isang pakpak na 100 plus meters. Kaya kami doon sa Bangi, naglagay kami ng pantalan doon. Bago matapos, mga 85% finished, binagyo. Tinayo na naman namin. The reason we had to put pantalan there was because yung blade ng windmill, kung ibaba sa Corimao, hindi makadaan sa lawag. Dahil tinesting namin yung may mahaba na stick na tinataas yung alambre. Nakakadaan yung matataas, yung mga nacelle. Pero pagliko, hindi kaya nung, nakita nyo naman dun sa video, ang haba-haba ng buntot na pagliko ng blade. So that is how we started. And now it's the same thing. There is a jetty here. At malaking logistics challenge ito. Ngunit talagang I can only say that whatever it is that we have to do, it is going to be worth it. It is going to be of benefit to our people. It will be of benefit to the country. And that is why this is important work. That's why we thank the Ayala Group for their continuing support in our pursuit, not only in Ilocos Norte, but in the Philippines, for all of these renewable energies. And the time hopefully will come, hopefully soon, that we can say na iurong na natin ang energy mix natin in favor of renewables. Malapit na, basta patuloy natin gagawin ito. At pagka patuloy na meron tayong mga partner, kagaya ni Jasa, kagaya ni Fernando, we cannot fail. So let us keep going, and congratulations to all that have put in, I am sure, a great deal of hard work before this is possible. It was possible to inaugurate this 166 megawatt expansion. Maraming salamat sa inyo lahat, and we are grateful for your continuing interest here in Pagudpud, Ilocos Norte, and in promoting the supply of electricity from renewables. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. At this point, may we request the President to kindly grant us a photo opportunity. First, may we call on stage our guests from the energy sector. Ayala and ACEN executives and director, please stand by and prepare at the side of the stage.
Thank you. Please exit to your right. Next, Ayala and ACEN executives and director, you may now proceed on stage. First set of officials of the provincial government of Ilocos Norte, please stand by and prepare.
Thank you. Please exit to your right. Next, first set of officials of the provincial government of Ilocos Norte. You may now proceed on stage. The second set of officials of the provincial government of Ilocos Norte, please stand by and prepare.
Thank you. Please exit to your right. Next, the second set of officials of the provincial government of Ilocos Norte, you may now proceed on stage. The officials of the LGU Pagudpud, please stand by and prepare.
Thank you. Please exit to your right. Next, LGU Pagudpud officials. You may now proceed on stage. ACEN partners, please stand by and prepare.
Thank you. Please exit to your right. Next, ACEN partners. You may now proceed on stage. ACEN project team, please stand by and prepare.
Thank you. Please exit to your right. Next, ACEN project team. You may now proceed on stage. Thank you. Please exit to your right. Thank you, Mr. President, for granting us a photo opportunity.
That concludes our program. Thank you, Mr. President, for gracing the event today. This has been the presentation of the 160 megawatt Pagudpud Wind Farm.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. We would like to request everyone to please remain seated until the President has left the venue. Thank you and good afternoon.